That's some weird one.
All right,
I got 2 or 3.
I'm gonna go into
this is
the-
tonight's homework. This is the practice test here.
Is it recording?
Yes. Okay, look. The test is gonna look just like this. You're gonna get 3 optimization problems at 3 related rates. 10 points each.
Off the butt?
That's it, 6 questions.
Throw that in the door of the office.
Although I think some of them might be 12 points each because then there's an A, B, C, that's why. Tanako, 1, 2, back.
Why?
Okay, so today,
Close to you.
if we need to do all 13 problems, we will.
Good.
But I'm just gonna start you on them. You guys gotta plug in the numbers and get
I
them.
don't care.
I have no idea what was happening.
29.
This is
We all saw that.
horrible.
All right.
I'm not.
I play soccer.
Okay,
That's what.
what, you guys gonna tell me which one? I don't even know which one's. What's the first one?
29.
There's a shadow.
29!
There's a shadow.
We gotta do
They
all
don't
of
tell,
them.
they don't tell us the full
Now,
thing, so you can't.
if you watch the videos, I think most of them are on the video, except it's different numbers because we had a different quote. I mean, but the problems are the same. Okay, so you have a man 6 foot tall, and he is walking toward a street lamp that is 16 feet tall, is that correct?
Yes.
So the picture looks like this, see the light shines on the top of the man's head, and it makes a shadow. Here's a shadow right there. Okay,
Wicked.
so it says, at what rate is the length of his shadow changing? Okay, so as he walks toward the street light, does the length of his shadow change or stay the same?
James.
Yeah, so you have to label it with a variable. And then what about the distance between the man and the light? It's changing, so you have to label with a variable. So that's your picture. Now, what equation can I write from this?
Many.
No, similar triangles. Look, you got the baby bear in the womb of the mama bear right there. So, in the baby bear, x over 6 is equal to, so long leg over short leg equals long leg over short leg, x plus y over 16. This is your equation. Now, before I take the derivative of this equation, I would simplify. Sit over there.
Oh, yes, that's where I asked you if I could.
But I want to send you there. So 16x is equal to 6x plus 6y. Combine the x's together, so 10x equals 6y. Reduced by 2, 5x equals 3y. Now, isn't this a lot easier to take the derivative than that? So again, you can simplify it before you take the derivative. It makes a lot of sense. And then now, take the derivative with respect to time. 5x dot is equal to 3y dot. And you are trying to find how fast is the length of the shadow changing. So all you have to know is y dot, but I believe they give you that in the problem. Park, what is it for 1 percentage point?
I don't remember, so I gotta get a book.
Very good. Why isn't the book on your desk?
I'm eating crackers.
It's a straight.
A little slow though.
I wish I was an engineer so I wouldn't have to deal with this.
These are
But then you have to do it about
What? Plus I could be making twice as much money.
But then you have to keep, oh, we already said that.
5 feet per second.
Oh, so Park is saying y dot is
What?
5.
Wait, what?
Negative.
It's negative 5.
Lot of numbers.
Why?
That's what I meant.
Because as he walks toward the street light, y is getting smaller, therefore its derivative must be negative. No, that's important, that sign, you know. Well, you'll find out, because they'll all add up on the test, and then bad things happen. Okay, next. I'm guessing we're doing number 30.
Yes.
This is one of the toughest ones on the homework, if not the toughest. Look, they gave you a picture. Here's a 50-foot light pole, doesn't change. And then you're gonna, 30 feet from the light pole, you're gonna drop a ball. Now, half a second later, the ball is like right there, at the moment in question. So the light is shining on the ball, like that. Oh gosh, that's ugly. And then it makes a shadow. So is this distance changing or staying the same?
Is this supposed to be a kink over there?
No. Okay, so this is your picture. Because the length of the pole doesn't change, the distance between the pole and here is 30, that doesn't change. But if you drop the ball, that distance changes, and x is like how far the shadow is from there. That changes, so you have to label it with variables. Yeah, that kink is bothering me too. There, that's better. Okay, now,
Not really.
look, what equation can I write from that? I mean, learn from this problem.
Similar
Similar triangles.
Baby
So
womb.
y over x is equal to, Blakesley?
50 over 30 plus
There you go. See how easy similar triangles are? Now, you wanna take the derivative right now, or you wanna tidy it up?
tidy.
Okay, so cross multiply. 30y plus xy equal 50x. And you can't combine anything, so let's just take the derivative, baby. 30, no, you guys are gonna do this. Take the derivative, Simon.
30y and then the y with the dot. I don't know.
Why not? Why not?
30y dot. So it's
Plus
Product rule.
radical.
product.
Oh,
X,
don't just say product rule, just do the product rule.
x, y dot.
Always gotta be different.
That's
Leave the
X
first one
dot
out,
y.
derivative of the second.
X dot y.
Equals.
Leave them. 50x dot.
There you go. See how you guys, I knew you could do it, Pancho.
Think of man.
That's really good.
Every day.
Okay, so what you gotta do now is plug in the numbers. Now, this problem, it's not that easy to figure out the numbers, because a lot of the problems, they just tell you the numbers, but this one, you gotta actually figure it out, so we're gonna do it. Park, if I may. Duke.
He's never got to the straight. Ever.
So what does that mean?
I don't understand.
You haven't even
last
struck
He's
year-
my
anybody out
fellow,
this
he's
year.
my fellow countryman, I'm not gonna give him a strike.
No, he's
That's
not.
right. You know how last year
Right?
I got 3 for sass? He like just gave you sass and you didn't even give him 1.
But he's my countryman.
The Chinese stick together.
We are both from North Korea.
Are you Japanese at all?
No.
Shut
I'm 100% Korean.
Can't
Really?
you tell?
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that supposed
That
to
was
mean?
a
That's
compliment.
racist.
Okay, can we figure, okay, so what are we trying to figure out in this problem? Park, receive yourself.
Trying to figure out the rates at which.
I'm glad it went over as a racist comment though, because that was pretty long.
How
Okay,
fast is the ball shadow moving on the
yeah, so what are we trying to find then?
X dot.
Okay, we're trying to find x dot. So, if we wanna compute x dot, we need to plug in numbers for y dot, x, and y. Okay, now, the only information they tell you is, see, the ball starts here, half a second later, it drops this distance here. Now, they tell you that a ball falls a distance, s equals 16t squared. Now, you guys from physics know that formula, right? What is that, what is the significance of that 16? Warner? Everyone here took physics,
No.
or taking it now.
The factor by which.
So what is that 16? Come on, kinematics, man! That's 1/2 the gravitational constant.
Okay.
The distance an object falls is 1/2 at squared. You guys learned that, right?
Oh, I believe you.
So isn't the gravitational constant on 32.2 feet per second squared?
We always use 9.
Okay, 9.81 meters per second squared, whatever, but that's what 16 is, and then that's just an approximation.
What is it?
It's in
1/2 at
feet,
squared, right?
Not.
What is A? Oh, A is
A is the gravitational constant, 32.2 feet per second. They should actually 16.1, but they're just being nice. Okay, so, if this is the distance an object falls in t seconds, then half a second later, how far did it fall? Plug in a half,
4.
16 times a fourth is 4. So if the ball dropped 4 feet, what is y at that exact moment?
2.
What?
Like,
It's
Here, this is 15 feet.
50 minus 4.
It dropped 4 feet.
40.
How far off the ground is it? My dog can do that. It's 46. Now, if y is 46, how do I figure out x, driver?
Plug it into the first thing.
How about the second thing?
That would-
Well, the first or the second, because they're both the same equation, but I think the second one looks nicer, yeah. So let's do that right now. So 30 times 46 plus x times 46 is equal to 50x. Can I solve for x?
In your head.
You bet your bippy you can. So 30 times 46 is equal to 4x. So therefore, x is equal to 30 times 46 all over 4, which is 2 times 2. Do you see what I'm doing?
No.
Because you can't use calculator, you know. 2 goes into 30,
15.
2 goes into 46, 23. So all you have to do is multiply 15 times 23.
Oh my god.
No. Okay, let me show you something. If I have to multiply 15 by 23, I am not gonna go do long multiplication. I'm gonna go, oh, isn't 23 20 plus 3? And then I use the distributive property. What's 15 times 20? Okay, if we don't even know that, then it's not gonna work.
300.
Thank you. It's 300. What's 15 times 3? 45. What's 300 plus 45? It's 345. There you go. That's what x
That's
is.
big.
You guys are. I want to go home.
5 plus 2.
Okay, now here's the next thing. Y dot is how fast this distance is changing, because y is this distance. Basically, they want to know the velocity of the ball. If this is the position of the ball, how do I figure out the velocity?
Oh, this is such a
You
hard
take
problem.
the derivative, right? The derivative of position is velocity. So, if this is the position equation, velocity is
32
32t.
T
Hey,
dot.
we learned that in physics.
No.
Except it's 32.2,
Mm-hmm.
9.81. Okay, whatever. So, half a second after you drop the ball, what is the velocity of the ball right at that moment? If I plug in 1/2. 16. Therefore, y dot is
Negative 16.
negative 16. How come negative? Because y is getting smaller, the ball is dropping. Things that get smaller have a negative derivative. If it's getting bigger, it has a positive derivative. Okay, so take these numbers, plug it in here, and then solve for x dot. I will leave that to you. That's just arithmetic. And don't you dare touch a calculator.
Oh, I'm gonna.
I'm gonna report you. I'm gonna report you for calculator molestation,
I'm gonna stay.
whatever that is. Okay, next, 31, I see 30, no!
I refuse.
Hey, where's Lee? I was watching the video this morning, that is on the video. You told me it
Sure.
wasn't. No, I'm not. Just wanted to scold you.
Because I watched all 21 minutes.
That's she's gonna say 21 videos.
Oh my
You are
god.
videotaping a race from, did you guys read this problem? There's a
Yes.
car, and it's traveling that way, okay? It's moving at 180 miles per hour on a stand 132 feet from the track. Okay, so that distance does not change. Here is the stand, and here's the track. The car is going that way. About how fast will your camera angle be changing? So here's when the car is right in front of you. Now, there's a part A and a part B. Part A is when it's right in front of you, and part B is, what did it say, half a second later? Yeah. Okay, so what's the only other information we know? The car is moving at 180 miles per hour. That's all we know. Okay, so here's the car, and here's like the point right in front of the stand. Is this distance changing or staying the same?
Yes. How's it?
James.
I didn't.
You're a disgrace to all North Koreans.
I thought you were gonna stop at changing.
It's changing! Okay, now look at this picture. What equation can I write looking at this picture?
And inverse.
Thank you. Now, are you guys good enough? Can I just go theta equal tan inverse x over 132?
Yeah.
Or do I have to write tan? No, I don't trust you. Tangent theta is equal to x over 132. Therefore, theta is equal to tan inverse x over 132. So, first step, write the equation. Second step, take the derivative with respect to time. Chang, you're up. Theta dot equals?
1 over 1 plus x squared equal 174
What? Say that again.
132 squared. X over 1 is dot over 132.
Yes. Did everybody get that?
Yes.
Because 1 over 32 is a constant, you can throw it on the side like 1 over 130.
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. So to figure out theta dot, all you gotta do is plug in numbers for x and x dot. Now, what is x dot? What is x dot in this problem, Hernandez? Basically, that's the speed of the car.
264.
Eh,
180.
eh.
Gives you the 1/2 second.
Negative 264. How come it's that negative? Because it's getting smaller. No, these negative signs are big. And then at this moment, what is the value of x? Who's got this one? Amano?
Do what?
What is x? What do I plug in for x? Amano. What do you plug in for x?
180.
Because that's the only other number I see on the paper. What is that?
Yeah.
What are those? Wait.
Okay, wait. Read them. I had a 400 SAT ver- oh, I'm getting a headache. I had a 400 SAT verb. I can read this. Okay, we are asked to find.
Drink.
That is so sad. Can I donate to your fund?
What
I
fun?
don't know the fund.
What?
Start a fun and he'll donate.
Amano, if you read, it says when the car is right in front of you. So when the car gets right there in front of you, what is x?
0.
0.
Oh, wow.
Dig the hole, fill the hole. What do you got in that head? 0. Yeah. Okay, can you guys look? And they make it nice. Look, you plug in 264. 264 over 132 is 2. They make it nice for you. That's so funny. And then you're plugging in 0. No, that's over here. But you plug in 0 for x, it's even nicer. Yes.
Can I pee?
No.
Wait, isn't it just 1 over 1?
Just like Jaime Escalante.
Yes, just,
Hold it.
It is, yeah.
okay.
Remember he said that?
No.
1.
You didn't watch the whole movie.
He
that's
says,
why.
no! The girl said, may I go to the bathroom? He said, no, hold it.
We have to watch the
Oh
whole
my
thing
gosh,
to
I would
understand.
not be able to hold it.
Okay, go to the bathroom. Okay, now there's a part B. This is part A now. This is for part A. Now in part B, what was part B? It said half a second later. Now, half a second later, won't the car be on this side?
Yes.
So that means the picture can change. The picture can be like this.
Oh my god.
Oh, come on.
What is
Stop complaining.
How was I supposed
That's
to?
all you guys do. Yeah, but Mr. Park, that's the same picture except it's on the other side. So is the equation is going to be the same, and you take the derivative all the same, right? The only difference is now when you plug in x dot and x, you're just going to get different numbers. Okay, what do I plug in for x dot now? Young, x dot is, now the car is over here. The car is going that way. Well, in the first problem, when x is going that way, x dot was negative 264, so if it's going that way, positive 264. And then half a second later, what do I plug in for x? Gotta go to this side of the room. Joy? How fast is the car going? No, Joy.
Oh, it's 264, so divide by 2.
Right.
So that's 100.
Oh, so you guys can divide by 2.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So now you take these numbers and plug it in, and you can see that it's nice, right? Because 132 over 132, I think, is 1. Wait, let me get my calculator.
It's 1.
She gives us that.
We only got 9
Calculator
minutes
lesson.
left. No, we actually got 14, so
What is
we're
the
okay.
question?
Okay, next. You guys gotta tell me.
Wait, you said there's a part B.
We did, that was part B. You guys are killing me. I really want to go home. Okay, here's the speech. Look, they even gave me the picture. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Go to your room. Okay, there's a plane traveling this at 3 miles, so that doesn't change. However, there's a car going this way, so this distance changes and that distance changes. Okay, and they actually call that S, but you want to use S, then we use S then, since that's what the book uses. Okay, now looking at this picture,
I don't think you got in.
what equation can I write? Sit down and move 1 foot back. You're giving me the willies.
What is that?
Okay, look at what equation can I write here? Look at this picture. What equation can I write?
X squared plus 3 squared, oh, plus 9 equals 25.
That's S.
I also thought it was 5, okay.
Okay, then you take the derivative. Okay, this one's easy, so I'm not going to call on you. 2x x dot. Although Simon was only doing 2s s dot.
Wait,
2's cancel
Yeah, I
out.
messed it up on the
So I
side.
think if I'm referring.
Now, what are we trying to find in this problem? I'm trying to read this problem. Find the car speed. So basically, we got to find x dot. So if I'm going to find x dot, you need to plug in numbers for x, s, and s dot. Okay, let's do that. What do I plug in for s dot? Driver. Yes. What are you guys doing? Just searching for numbers.
Shameless.
That sounds like something I would do in high school. Did I tell you what happened in my English class? I used to get
No.
bonus points. No, because you have to participation was part of the class, right? So every time you participate, if the teacher deems it worthy, then you get 1 point, otherwise you get 0.
Okay.
So we were reading some Shakespeare thing, Hamlet or Moby Dick. That was Hamlet, I think.
Moby Dick's about a whale.
Yeah, thank you.
What's the whale's name?
I saw the previews.
Oh yeah, they're making a new movie.
Yeah.
Did you see?
Anyway, so in our book, there was like footnotes at the bottom.
From English class.
So she asked, oh, something, 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 Michael? And then I just read the footnotes and everybody's snickering. She goes, oh, that's very good, 1 point. And then she goes, can you expound on that? No, that's all I have. I got the 1. That's how it works, people. Okay, and then what do I plug in for x? At the moment in question, what do I plug in for s? The moment in question. Simon?
The 5.
Very good. And at that exact moment, Blakesley, what do I plug in for x? Just read it off your paper.
3.
Thank you. Does everybody know why?
No.
Because look, at the exact moment, if this is 5, it's not 3. It's 4. It's 4. It's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. Come on, they can't make it easier than that. Anyway, I want to compute the answer because there's something at the end. So x dot is equal to
That's right.
5 times 160 over 4, but 4 goes into 16.
40.
Okay, and 40 times 5 is 200. So that means this distance, oh, wait a minute, we made a mistake here.
No, we didn't.
This is negative
That's the
160.
way.
That's negative 160. You should be ashamed of yourself. The answer is negative 200. So that means this distance is getting smaller at the rate of 200 miles per hour. But you got to answer the question. The question is, how fast is the car going? All we,
200 miles per hour.
oh no! There's a plane over here going this way at 120 miles per hour. This distance is closing at the rate of 200 miles
80.
per hour. So how fast is the car going?
80.
80 miles per hour.
Is it really?
Yes.
Why?
This is physics. If you have
I
one,
suck at
if
physics.
one person goes that way at 20 miles per hour and another person goes that way at 30 miles per hour and they crash, isn't that the same thing as crashing into a wall at 50 miles per hour?
That's like the ERBs or whatever. The
Wait,
train
this is
travels
something
from
about
point A
buses and
and
it was
blah blah.
Wait, is it really?
Dude,
That's
physics, that's like that's
Is
page
that
1 of physics
but
right
isn't
there.
that one like more so than it's?
No.
Is it really?
Remember, okay, when you study physics, remember frame of reference? Does that sound familiar? Frame of reference?
Yeah, I learned that the other way.
Okay, we gotta move on because I don't know if we can finish now. Okay, what about the shadow? Can I just assume we're doing it?
Not that.
Yes, 33.
Okay, now this one, I'm just gonna, okay, now, the picture in the book is deceiving because the building, the length of the building doesn't change. However, the length of the shadow changes, so that should have been labeled X. They both put 60 over there. Maybe that's what threw you off. Okay, now look at this picture. You have to find, I forget what you have to find, but that's the picture. What equation can I write from this picture?
Pythagorean.
No, you don't know that. God,
Sorry, triangle.
Tangent theta is equal to opposite over adjacent.
Yes. Theta equals.
Theta equals tan inverse 80 over x. Okay? Now this is without even reading, this is just by looking. And then take the derivative. So theta dot is equal to, theta dot equals, Warner? Tan inverse box. Tan inverse box.
Sorry. 1 over.
I wish I could tune up like that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, make my day.
1 plus x. Square. Derivative block.
Yeah, I know, but what is the derivative of the box?
Oh, that's
80
hard.
times negative x to the negative.
Oh, so he's going, that's like x to the negative 1 then. Okay, so negative 80 x to the negative 2 x dot times the derivative of that box. That's like box to the negative 1, right? Or if you need to use quotient rule, use quotient rule, but
Quotient rule is easier.
Okay, we'll do it then. And then I will let you plug in numbers, but I just want you to beware in this problem you have to convert because they tell you that the angle the sun makes with the ground is increasing at the rate of 0.27 so theta dot is equal to 0.27 degrees per minute.
Oh.
But we know that you have to work in radians, so you're gonna have to convert this into radians per minute. So we need to get rid of the degrees. So doing dimensional analysis, pi radians is equal to 180 degrees, so you're gonna have to multiply it by pi over 180. Into radians. Okay, and then you're gonna have to read the directions, and I'm gonna correct.
Over seconds.
Okay, can we finish 2 problems? 35.
We can try.
But we have to, because otherwise you're gonna be befuddled. Okay, what about 34?
Yep.
34 is so easy. Okay, but that's okay, we'll do it. Here's an angle. Now here's a walker is walking that way, so that distance changes. And here's a walker over here going that way, so that distance changes. And they want to know how fast is that angle changing. You can't get a problem easier than this on the AP exam. So again, tangent theta is equal to y over x. Theta is equal to 10. How many times have we derivatized the tan inverse?
3.
No, 5. Theta dot, in fact, I'll do this one really fast. 1 over 1 plus box squared times the derivative of box, but I need to use quotient rule. Low d high minus high d low, all over denominated squared we go, and all the numbers are given in the problem. So that's easy. Okay, let's do 35. This could be one of the harder problems because you gotta use the law of cosines, and some of you don't even know the law of cosines.
Yes.
So I'm sure you looked it up, right?
Yep.
Because in the back of the book, they have this thing called the appendix. Got all the formulas you need over there?
I don't have one of those.
Yes,
I thought
you
they
do.
weren't necessary.
Okay, there's
Oh,
a
I
ship
don't.
moving this way. That distance is changing.
I have
There's a ship moving this way. That distance is changing, and the distance between the two ships obviously is changing. However, this angle right here is not changing. It's 120 degrees. It stays at 120 degrees. Okay, now notice that this is not a right triangle, so you cannot use SOHCAHTOA. You have to use the law of
SOHCAHTOA.
cosines. Now, for those of you who forgot the law of cosines, here it is, baby. Z squared equals x squared plus y squared minus 2xy cosine theta.
That doesn't even look familiar.
It really doesn't.
What is
Are
that?
you serious?
When did we learn that?
No.
When we did trig, remember law of sines?
This year?
Sine, no. Sine A over A
Was it
equals
last year?
sine B over B
Okay, I remember
equals
that.
sine C over C.
I
This is,
remember that 'cause
this is called the law of sines. This is called the law of cosines. You know why? This one has a sign in it, and this one has a cosine in it.
Mr. Park, can you continue because I got
Okay, cosine of 120 degrees. Hey, that's a number I know. Hey,
Hey,
symbolic.
Oh.
Quick,
Half.
negative half. See, we don't even know our trig values.
I know radians.
No!
We don't know our trig values.
Has anyone ever come
There's
in
Colin
here
out
and
there,
yelled
so-
at me?
What if someone was like walking right
Is
past
Colin
and in their
there?
face?
Okay,
Open
it's
the
negative.
story now.
Okay, so this
Look, somebody
equation
saw them.
simplifies to.
Oh, Matthew?
Who's that?
Okay,
What
here.
is his last name?
Shh.
Okay.
We only got 2 minutes left. Look, this is your equation. That's because this angle is 120 degrees. But the one I'm gonna give you on the test, I'm not saying that I'm giving it to you, but the one you're gonna get on the test, it's not gonna be 120 degrees. It's gonna be a different one. So if you don't know your trig values,
60,
suffer.
please.
Suffer.
Make it, yeah.
Anyway, when you take the derivative, please use the product rule for that one.
Oh.
And then I believe everything is given in that problem. So the hardest part about this problem is just remembering the law of cosines. So Mr. Park, are you saying that if it's on the test, I should know the formula? Either that or get a -10.
What about the law of
Okay, hurry up. Are there any other questions? Now, we got 1.5 minutes.
40. Even.
40. A particle moving around the unit. Did I really assign the problem?
Cross
take
it
it
out.
out?
Cross
No.
it out.
Take it
Cross
out,
it
take it
Cross it
out.
out.
No, I already told you how to do. I already told you how to do this problem.
It's multiple choice. Why
Here's a point.
It's an even.
You label this point
Oh,
x, y.
It's B.
You just draw this picture.
Always.
I
gets
told
C.
you, anytime you have,
What's the answer?
shh. Anytime you have a point in the plane, you draw that picture. I told you guys that already. But I guess you're not listening. Now, this problem is easy because they told you that this is a
Oh.
unit circle. The radius is 1. So let me look at this picture. What equation can I write? X squared plus y squared equal 1 squared. Take the derivative, 2x x dot plus 2y y dot equals 0. Divide by 2. Just plug in the bloody numbers and you get the bloody answer.
Why is it bloody?
This is English.
Because I'm from England. Okay, now I know there were like at least 2 more problems, but the bell's gonna ring already, so. Anyway, did I assign number 42?
Yeah.
I always say, you know why? Because that's an actual AP exam problem. And then, wait, what about the one with you're pulling,
That's 41. The rubber
yeah,
board.
that,
Do
yeah.
that one. Do that one. Do that one.
Okay, what time is it?
41.
tomorrow.
No.
41.
Keep working after we leave and explain it. We'll all watch the end of the video.
I doubt it. Okay, I'm gonna check the number of views then.
Please do.
Okay, let me start you on this problem then. Here's,
It just worked here.
you guys understand, you're pulling this thing, but the volume remains constant, okay? So the radius changes and the height changes, right?
Yes.
So what's the volume of a cone? Pi, not cone, but a cylinder, r
R
squared.
squared H.
There, that's your equation. Use the product rule on that because it's a product. And let's see if we can get the answer.
Keep going, keep going.
Okay, E dot equals total pi on the side like an unwanted test.
Yeah.
Product rule, 2r r dot h plus r squared h dot. There you go. Now, the hard part of this problem though is you gotta figure out what numbers to plug in.
I can say hi to my future self. Hi, future self.
Wait, I don't know how to do
Isn't that so cool?
Woo!